Listen carefully. There comes a moment in every man's life when he realizes that talking alone doesn't change anything. Words are cheap. Plans are easy to make. Promises are just noise. You want change? You want real progress? Then it's time to go ghost. Ghost mode isn't some passing trend. It's a strategy for war. You step away from the noise. You remove yourself from distractions. You stop posting every small move like someone desperate for attention. You don't need the world watching you when you're building. What you need is focus, discipline, and a determined mindset. Silence is powerful. That's not just a catchy line. It's a core truth that most people don't fully grasp or just choose to ignore. In a world addicted to noise, opinions, and constant updates, choosing silence becomes an act of total control. When you talk less, you offer fewer openings to others. You invite fewer distractions, less judgment, and minimal interference with your progress. Silence isn't hiding. It's not weakness, it's strength. It means you understand your worth and don't feel the need to prove it with empty talk or loud declarations. Think about it. Every time you speak without purpose, you open yourself to criticism or being misunderstood. You give away your plans too soon, letting others doubt, sabotage, or try to talk you out of it. But when you keep your goals private, you hold the upper hand. You become harder to predict. Nobody knows your next move, and that mystery gives you power. Silence protects your dreams. It guards your progress. It keeps your energy focused instead of wasted explaining yourself to people who don't get it. The strongest individuals don't burn energy on empty words. They know that real power comes from movement, not chatter. You don't need to post your intentions on every platform or tell everyone what you're working on just to get their approval. True confidence is quiet because it doesn't rely on anyone else's opinion. It's built on inner belief and an unstoppable commitment to your grind. Silence gives you room to build without interruption. It helps you avoid the noise of doubt and criticism that shows up when you broadcast your next step too early. When you embrace silence, you also learn to truly listen. Listening is a skill most people forget. When you keep quiet, you open your mind. You notice your surroundings. You catch opportunities. You spot the weaknesses in your competition. You gather insight that talkers never hear. You adjust your strategy without ever revealing your hand. This is how winners operate. They don't talk just to talk. They watch, they wait. And when the moment is right, they make their move, quietly and effectively. Silence also forces you to face yourself. When you stop filling your time with distractions and small talk, you come face to face with your own thoughts. That can be uncomfortable, but it's necessary. It's how you build discipline and mental strength. You begin to understand that your value isn't measured by how much you say or how often people notice you. It's measured by what you do when nobody's around. That's where the real change begins. In today's world, everyone wants attention, but few people want to put in the real effort behind the scenes. Silence separates those who talk about doing from those who actually do. When you go ghost, you step away from the spotlight and into your own personal workshop. That's where you sharpen your tools. That's where you grow. That's where you create the foundation for success without being pulled in different directions. Silence is also about respect. Respect for your journey and for the growth process itself. It means you understand that good things take time, that explaining yourself too soon invites judgment before the work is even done. When you stop talking and start doing, you command respect through what you produce. People can argue with your words, but they can't argue with results. And silence creates mystery. People are always drawn to what they don't understand. When you're quiet and consistent, others notice your discipline. They wonder what you're doing and how you're doing it. That curiosity gives you a subtle advantage in relationships, business, and life. You control your image by deciding what you reveal. You let your results speak for you, not empty words or constant boasting. Silence becomes your edge. In truth, silence is where real power is born. It's the tool used by those who grow their lives quietly, focused, undistracted, and far from the noise. Choosing silence isn't the easy route, but it's the smart one. It's the path to rise above chaos and build something lasting. When you master silence, you master control. And when you control yourself, there's nothing you can't achieve. Sometimes the best way to move forward is to completely disappear from the world around you. When you're surrounded by distractions and people who don't support your growth, real progress becomes impossible. Going ghost doesn't mean you're quitting or hiding because you're scared. It means you're taking command of your space so you can rebuild stronger. If you're serious about upgrading your life, you have to step away from what's holding you back and stay gone long enough to focus on what really counts: your mindset, your growth, and your mission. When you walk away from toxic surroundings, you remove yourself from energy drainers, the people who steal your time, kill your motivation, and chip away at your confidence. These people gossip, complain, and discourage without even realizing how harmful they are. Staying around them keeps you tied to old habits and small thinking. So you cut them off, not because you hate them, but because you care about yourself enough to protect your future. This isn't about being petty, it's about survival and rising. When you distance yourself, you gain the clarity needed to understand what really deserves your time and energy. Disappearing also means stepping away from the constant craving for approval that modern life encourages. Today, everyone wants to be seen, liked, and praised at every step. But that hunger for recognition becomes a trap. It keeps you stuck in shallow motion instead of deep progress. You end up chasing attention instead of doing the work. Going ghost removes that noise. You stop needing applause. You stop waiting for permission. You put your energy into what truly moves you forward, not into performance, but into purpose. This process isn't easy. It takes discipline and real courage. You have to be strong enough to leave behind your usual routines and the people who fill your day with noise and obligation. You'll feel lonely. You'll doubt yourself because stepping away from the crowd means standing alone. But that solitude is exactly what transforms you. It's in the quiet that you face your flaws honestly and build real strength, not the strength people see, but the kind that carries you through when no one's looking. And disappearing to rebuild also gives you space to fail privately. When you're always in the spotlight, mistakes are on display. Fear of judgment keeps you from growing. But in silence, you can fall, learn, and rise without pressure. That private struggle is where true growth lives. It frees you from needing approval and lets you focus only on becoming better. The power of going ghost is in the reset it gives. When you block out the noise, you start clean. The doubts, bad habits, and toxic influences lose power over you. You clear space to build new routines, better thinking, and a focused mindset. You stop being a character in someone else's story and start writing your own. This reset matters because most people try to evolve while staying in the same place that broke them. It's like planting something new in dead soil. It can't grow there. You have to change your environment if you want to grow. When you return after disappearing, you don't come back as the same person. You come back sharper, more focused, clear in your mission. You carry the lessons learned in silence. And with that comes a quiet confidence that speaks louder than words. Your disappearance wasn't escape, it was strategy. It was the foundation for your new self, and that version of you is built to win in ways the old you couldn't. Ghost mode isn't forever. It's a short retreat for long-term gain. It's a calculated step, a reset button only the wise and disciplined know how to use. It's how you reclaim your power when the world demands you waste it. When you step away from distractions and drama, you take your life back. Your time, your focus, and your energy are your real power. Elevating your life in silence means knowing when to step away so you can return stronger. It's about realizing that sometimes the best way forward is to retreat, let go, and build quietly. This mindset belongs to those who are willing to do the unseen work, who don't chase instant validation, and who understand that true change takes intentional, consistent effort away from the spotlight. When you vanish to rebuild, you're not just improving your life, you're reshaping your limits. Results always say more than words. This truth is so clear and powerful that most people overlook it. In a world addicted to talking, promising, and explaining, the ones who rise are the ones who stay locked in on execution. Too many people waste energy convincing others of what they'll do. They declare their dreams, make loud promises, but nothing shifts because words alone carry no substance. Real respect and impact come from what you achieve, not what you say you're going to do. When you let your outcomes speak, you eliminate doubt. Action shuts down all debate. If you're grinding silently and steadily, building something real, people will notice. Not because you told them to, but because your results will show. Success is visible. It shows up in your health, your finances, your abilities, and your reputation. Your results reveal your consistency and your grind. They don't need hype. They are undeniable proof of effort. They correct doubters and earn the respect of rivals. This path demands patience and discipline. You have to get comfortable with not being praised because real progress doesn't show up right away. While others chase likes, clout, and external rewards, you stay steady on your grind behind closed doors. Every rep in the gym, every quiet hour learning, every sacrifice adds to the foundation you're building. It's a journey, and through it all, you don't explain yourself. You don't beg for approval. You don't chase validation. You trust your effort and let it do the talking. Letting your work show for itself means cutting out the noise. When you talk too much about your plans, you open the door to opinions, doubts, and sometimes envy. People may try to discourage you, not because they know your limits, but because they're stuck in their own. But when you're quiet and busy doing the work, you block out that negativity. You protect your mindset by only focusing on what's in your control, your effort and your consistency. This way of thinking shifts your focus from outside approval to internal commitment. You stop needing others to believe in you. You only need to believe in yourself. The more you execute, the less explaining you have to do, because your success will speak volumes. The same people who doubted you will be forced to take notice. Your evolution will inspire, not because you ask for attention, but because you built something they can't ignore. When you let your accomplishments lead, you build a legacy. Words are forgotten, promises fade, but real progress lasts. Achievements open doors, create new paths, and establish your name. People respect those who take action and produce results. Your outcomes become your identity, your reputation, and your influence. And beyond all that, when you stay results-driven, you're forced to become strategic. You start putting energy only into things that move you forward. You stop wasting time and effort on meaningless tasks. You learn to focus on what matters and cut out what doesn't. You become smarter and more effective. Success stops being about how much noise you make and starts being about what you actually deliver. That clarity helps you stay sharp and consistent. In the end, when your results speak, you earn something bigger than respect. You earn freedom. Freedom from explaining yourself, freedom from haters, freedom to live on your own terms with undeniable proof backing you up. When your results lead, everything shifts. People notice, opportunities appear, new doors open. So if you truly want to level up your life, stop talking, start doing. Focus on building something so solid it makes the loudest noise without you saying a word. Build in silence, work with direction, let your success be the only voice that needs to be heard. That's how you win. That's how you lead. That's how you elevate in silence. Going ghost is about cutting ties with everything that weakens you. When you decide it's time to upgrade your life, you must realize not everyone belongs in your journey. Weak links, whether they're people, habits, or distractions, drain your strength and hold you back. You might think staying connected is kind, but staying loyal to the wrong people or routines is a betrayal of your own future. To evolve, you must be bold enough to release what doesn't serve you. The first part of letting go is recognizing what weighs you down. It could be that friend who always complains but never changes, a toxic partner that chips away at your self-worth, or time-wasting habits like endlessly scrolling through social media. These things may seem harmless, but they quietly destroy your focus and kill your drive. They keep you circling in place while convincing yourself you're still moving forward. And the reality is, if it doesn't push you ahead, it's holding you still. Letting go is hard because it brings loneliness and uncertainty. People who don't see your vision may push back. Old habits may feel comforting, even when they're hurting you. But that discomfort means you're growing. It means you're breaking old patterns and entering a new level. Growth is rarely easy, and choosing to upgrade your life means you have to face that difficulty without hesitation. Cutting weak ties doesn't mean becoming cold. It means choosing clarity and self-worth. When you're surrounded by lazy or negative energy, you start to absorb it. Energy spreads. If you want to rise, you need to be around those who push themselves, those who aim higher and hold themselves to a high standard. And that applies to your habits too. You can't rise if you're still feeding your mind junk, wasting time, or chasing quick pleasure. You need to be intentional about what you consume and how you spend your hours. Trade weak habits for powerful routines. Read, train, set goals, grow daily. Your environment either lifts you or limits you. And by removing the weak parts, you create a space where your best self can thrive. The path of cutting ties and leveling up can be painful, but it's necessary. Weak links will always try to pull you back. You must commit to your future so deeply that nothing gets in your way. This means saying no to distractions, toxic connections, and old ways, even when it's difficult, even if people don't understand, even if it leaves you standing alone. Your future depends on what you accept today. And when you finally let go of the weak, you make room for the strong. Strong habits, strong people, strong discipline. You start attracting what matches your energy and your ambition. You begin building routines that support your next level, not sabotage it. Your life begins to reflect your highest standards. That's the root of real transformation. In truth, cutting weak ties is an act of strength and self-respect. It's choosing your path over comfort, your growth over ease. It's clearing the way so you can run fast and free without dead weight holding you down. If you want to go ghost and rise in silence, begin by removing anything that slows you down, because in that bold act of separation lies the strength to rise beyond what you ever thought possible. True transformation doesn't happen while you're performing for the world. It happens in the quiet, consistent work that nobody sees. It begins the moment you decide to change and follow through, even when nobody's watching. Announcing every small move or always needing approval isn't what builds greatness. It's about grinding when no one's around to see it. It's about putting in the effort during the quiet hours and pushing through pain on your own. Teaching yourself to stay consistent in silence is what separates the ordinary from the outstanding. Talking about your goals is simple. Everyone has dreams and ambitions, but not everyone is willing to endure the lonely, ongoing effort behind closed doors. That's where the real fight takes place, not in the spotlight, but in the gym, in the study room, during early mornings and late nights. This is where your character is shaped, your limits challenged, and your discipline developed. The quiet around your effort doesn't mean you're idle. It means you recognize the importance of focused, distraction-free work. When you train in silence, you avoid the disruptions that attention often brings. Sharing your journey publicly can attract unwanted opinions, random suggestions, or criticism that can shake your belief, add pressure to perform, or cause you to question your path. But keeping your grind private shields your mindset. It lets you concentrate solely on progress without the noise of people's assumptions or expectations. This mental clarity is essential for personal growth. Training yourself also involves building inner strength. The grind isn't glamorous. It's tough and often lonely. There will be days when your motivation is gone and your progress feels invisible. But when you train in silence, you learn how to keep going without needing a cheerleader. You develop an inner drive that fuels you through any situation. This mental strength can't be faked or borrowed. It's something you earn alone. Silence creates space for deep focus. When you block out distractions and stop sharing every step, you tap into a zone where your mind performs at its peak. This focus lets you sharpen your skills, notice your flaws, and perfect your craft without interruptions. It's a powerful place to be because real mastery requires that kind of concentrated effort. The outside world's noise only distracts you from your mission. Another vital part of training in silence is the humility it brings. You're not doing it to impress anyone. You do it because you respect the grind. You understand that greatness is built not by loud talk or shallow hype, but by showing up daily and staying committed. This humility keeps your feet on the ground and your hunger alive. It keeps you from getting comfortable or feeling entitled. You stay driven because your progress depends on that fire. Over time, the results of silent training start to add up. Others may not notice your effort right away since you're not advertising it, but your transformation becomes too obvious to ignore. Your strength, skill, and confidence quietly grow, creating a solid foundation. When you finally show your progress, it commands attention and respect, not because of what you said, but because of what you've done. This moment of arrival is powerful because it's backed by results, not empty promises. Training in silence isn't just about physical growth. It's a mindset. It applies to your entire life. Whether you're building your career, working on personal development, or improving your relationships, the principle is the same. Quietly put in the work. Stay away from distractions. Strengthen your mindset. Master your skills. Then step forward with results that speak volumes. At the core, training in silence means taking full responsibility for your path without needing applause. It's about staying relentless and focused when there's no audience. So when your moment comes, you're prepared to lead. That's how you truly upgrade your life, not through noise and attention, but through patience, discipline, and quiet hustle. Learning patience is one of the hardest yet most important skills to elevate your life. In a world obsessed with fast results and quick wins, everyone wants success instantly. But real progress doesn't happen that way. It takes time, effort, and the strength to stay calm while others rush, panic, or quit. Patience isn't passive. It's a form of active persistence. It means staying locked on your vision even during the slow, difficult days, trusting that the work you're putting in will lead to something meaningful, even if the rewards aren't clear right now. When you practice patience, you stop needing to share every small win or constantly look for approval. You understand that real growth is slow and often goes unnoticed. While others try to show off every step, you stay in your lane, knowing that long-term consistency always beats temporary flashes. Patience shields you from comparing yourself to others and keeps you from falling for shortcuts that seem promising but offer no lasting value. It's a skill that takes emotional strength, because it's frustrating when your efforts don't show immediate results or when obstacles keep piling up. Most people quit when things move slowly, but those who master patience learn to push through, knowing that the path shapes them as much as the destination. They stay locked into the bigger picture, moving through delays and difficulties without losing their drive. Patience also teaches you timing, the art of waiting for the right moment to act or reveal your growth. Moving too soon can ruin opportunities or cause costly mistakes. When you master patience, you also learn how to move with purpose. Your actions become smarter, more effective, and better timed. This kind of thoughtful approach marks the difference between those who chase change and those who create it. In silence, patience grows even stronger. Without the noise and pressure from the outside world, you gain the power to wait without stress. You start believing in your process and your direction, allowing yourself to grow in the right way at the right time. This calm persistence has a quiet strength to it. It attracts respect and opens doors that anxiety and impatience would slam shut. In the end, patience is the quiet power behind every major change. It separates wishful thinking from actual achievement. It teaches you to trust yourself and your path, no matter how long the road seems. When you blend patience with quiet effort, you build momentum that can't be stopped by noise, doubt, or distraction. That's how you begin transforming your life, in silence, because the real power comes from the waiting, the steady work, and the deep belief that your moment will come. To wrap it all together, disappearing into silence isn't about quitting or hiding. It's a strategic, powerful decision to level up your life away from noise, chaos, and useless drama. When you learn to move in silence, step away from harmful influences, let your results speak, cut off weak ties, train without seeking approval, and build serious patience, you're creating a rock-solid foundation for long-term success. That's where real strength is made. Quietly, intentionally, and without apology. If you want to rise above the noise and become unstoppable, it's time to disappear into silent focus and rebuild from within. Your future self will look back and thank you for every silent step you took.